Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my MLB DraftKings picks for Tuesday, August 1st. It's the first day of the new month, and we have a great slate today. It's a full 15-game slate. I absolutely love this slate. Pitching is loaded today. You have a ton of guys at pretty much every price range. You have your studs up top. You got Scherzer, Sale. Got some guys up top that you want to pay up for. But the mid-range today is absolutely loaded. I was looking through the pitching options, and I would say there's at least 10 plus mid-range guys that are in great spots that have a ton of upside. And then there's also a couple of value pitchers as well. So I think this makes for a very fun slate. There's also a Coors Field game today. There's a game played in Coors. So there are definitely bats that you want to pay up for. But with all those mid-range options, it definitely allows you to pay up for those bats. So I definitely think there are multiple ways you can go. If you necessarily don't want to pay up for Coors, you could look towards Sale or Scherzer. But these mid-range options are really intriguing me today. I don't think I'm going to be on Max or Chris Sale today. I just think the mid-range is too loaded. There are too many guys in the mid-range that have 30-point upside. And for their price tag, they are just too cheap as well. So I'm going to be looking towards the mid-range for my pitchers today, and then really load up on the bats, get some exposure to the Coors Field game, and then pay up for other bats as well. So yeah, that's the approach that I'm going to be looking to take on this slate. And let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so like I said, pitching today, I don't think I'm going to be paying up. Not saying I don't like Max Scherzer or Chris Sale today, but I just think there's too many mid-range options that are $5,000 plus cheaper that have 30-point upside. So that's just why I'm not going to be on Max or Chris Sale today, or Stroman. I guess you could consider him an ace as well. He's over 10K, but not going to be on any of those stud guys. The mid-range is where I'm going to be looking today. I love these mid-range options. I'm just going to go through them real quick. So you got Aaron Nola against the Angels. The Angels don't really strike out a lot, but that's a great matchup. Carmark gets the Brewers. They strike out a ton. Mike Fiers gets Tampa Bay. They strike out a ton. Jeff Samardzija gets Oakland. They strike out a ton. Jameson Taillon against Cincinnati. That's a good matchup. Sean Manaea against the Giants. They don't really strike out, but the Giants, not a team you're going to fear. Jose Barrios gets the Padres. That's a great strikeout matchup. So I just think the mid-range is too loaded today to really look towards those 13K guys. So the mid-range guys that I'm going to be looking at today, my first guy that I love is Jeff Samardzija at 8,400, getting a matchup against the Athletics. Absolutely love Samardzija today. Going to Oakland, a nice pitcher-friendly park. Although it really isn't an upgrade for Samardzija, going from San Francisco probably the most pitcher-friendly park. But Oakland's ballpark is still a nice ballpark for pitchers. So Samardzija has that going in his favor. And he's also getting a great strikeout matchup today. Oakland, they're a top 5 team in strikeout rate against righties. They strike out 25% of the time, which ranks 4th in the league. And they don't hit righties well at all. They're only hitting a 238 average and a 319 WOBA against righties. So I absolutely love Jeff Samardzija today. I legit think he has 30-point upside in this matchup for just 8,400. I love that price tag. He put up 30 points in his last game against Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is not a strikeout-heavy team, and he still managed to get 8 Ks against them. So he could definitely get 10 Ks here. Oakland strikes out a ton. Jeff Samardzija's in a great spot here. I love the price tag, everything pointing towards him having a great game here. So I'm going to be locking him in as my SP1 at just 8,400. And then my SP2, absolutely love this guy as my SP2. I just think he's too cheap for his matchup. And that's Jose Barrios at just 7,700, getting a matchup against the Padres. Jose Barrios, he is too cheap today, just 7,700, given the matchup. I think if you do want to pay up for Max or Chris Sale, you could definitely look towards Barrios as your SP2. He has so much upside in this matchup, and he is definitely safe. The Padres are not an offense that you're going to fear. They strike out a ton. They actually lead the league in K rate versus righties. They're striking out 25.4% of the time. And offensively, like I said, not a team you're going to fear. They're only hitting a 240 average and a 307 WOBA versus right-handed pitching. So Jose Barrios is in a great spot here. He's going to be traveling to the National League, so he'll be able to face the opposing pitcher. That's always great for him. Pretty much a free strikeout. And going to San Diego, that is also a nice ballpark for pitchers. So I absolutely love Barrios today. He's another guy that has 30-point upside, and for just 7,700, he's just too cheap with his upside. He looks like a great play today at the mid-range. You can definitely consider him for tournaments and for cash games as well. Jose Barrios, my SP2 today, and I'm going to be locking him in at just 7,700. When you plug in Samardzija and Barrios as your two pitchers, that still leaves you over 4,200 remaining per player. And you have two pitchers that could easily combine for 60 DraftKings points. I could definitely see both of these guys getting near 30 DK points. When you combine Samardzija and Barrios as two prices, that's about 15 to 16K. Max and Chris Sale just by themselves, they're 13K. So you can just look at that and tell that going towards the mid-range is the way you probably want to go on this slate. There are just so many guys that have 30-point upside, and for their price tags, they look like great plays today. So my two mid-range guys I love today are Jeff Samardzija and Jose Barrios, and I'm going to be locking them in as my two pitchers. And then for my three bats today, since we didn't pay up, we do have a ton of salary to work with. So I'm going to be jamming in some Coors Field bats today. The first guy that I absolutely love is going to be at third base. Has to be probably the best play on this slate, the best hitting play on this slate. And that's Nolan Arenado at 5,400, getting a matchup against Steven Matz. Nolan Arenado, if you're not paying up for Max or Chris Sale, I think he's a must-play today. Even if you do pay up for Max or Sale, I think you still want to try and jam Arenado in. This is such a good spot against Steven Matz. Arenado is going to be playing at home in Coors, where we know he crushes the ball. This matchup against Steven Matz is juicy. Steven Matz, the dude's just been absolutely terrible this year. He's been pretty much a gas can. So far this year, to right-handed hitters, he's given up a 373 WOBA. Then he gives up a ton of home runs to righties, a 2.19 home run per 9 to right-handed hitters so far this year. Going to Coors Field is not gonna help that at all. I'm expecting Matz to just get absolutely torched today. So these Rockies bats are definitely in a great spot. You're gonna want to pay up for them, and if you go towards the mid-range for your two pitchers, you do have the salary to pay up for these guys. So look to get some exposure to them. And Matz has also been giving up a ton of hard contact this year to righties, 48.8% medium contact and 34.1% hard contact. That's almost 83% medium and hard contact to right-handed hitters. So Nolan Arenado, he's in such a good spot here. I'm expecting him to have a great game. I can definitely see him getting over 20 to 30 DK points. He definitely has double dong potential in this spot. So Nolan Arenado, my favorite overall hitter on this slate. And I'm going to be locking him in at third base for 5,400. And then my final two plays are going to be mid-range options. So the first guy that I like is going to be at shortstop. And that's Didi Gregorius getting a matchup against Anibal Sanchez. I really like Didi today. He's going to be playing at home in Yankee Stadium, where he crushes the ball in that ballpark. It's a great ballpark for lefties. And this is a great matchup for Didi against Anibal. If you look at Anibal Sanchez's numbers against lefties, he has been getting hit pretty hard. 344 WOBA to lefties. He's also given up a lot of home runs to lefties. A 1.45 home run per 9 to left-handed hitters. And the hard contact's also been there. 49% medium contact to lefties and 31.7%. So that's over 80% medium and hard contact to left-handed hitters. So this is a great spot for Didi. I believe he has some BVP going in his favor as well. A small sample size, 3 for 8 against Anibal, but one of those hits was a home run. So 3 for 8. He's batting .375 against Anibal when he's seen him. So I absolutely love Didi today. If you're looking for a mid-range shortstop play, definitely consider him at just 4,100. I believe the Yankees have a very high total today. I think it's nearly 6 runs. 5.5 runs is their implied total right now. So the Yankees are in a great spot against Anibal. And I'm going to be looking to get some exposure to their offense today with Didi Gregorius at 4,100. And then my final play is going to be in the outfield. Going to be going back to Coors Field. A guy I think is too cheap today playing in Coors. Yoenis Cespedes at just 4,300, getting a matchup against Jeff Hoffman. Now Jeff Hoffman, the guy is a pretty decent pitcher, but at home in Coors, Hoffman has really struggled this year. If you just look at his home and road splits, the dude's been getting hit really hard at home. He's given up a 390 WOBA at home this year. And then to righties, or just for the season to righties, he's given up a 371 WOBA. And then if you look at his home runs, doesn't really give up home runs. He has managed to limit the home runs. Only a 1.11 home run per 9 at home. But the hard contact, Hoffman has been getting hit pretty hard, especially to lefties. Not as bad against righties, but to lefties, nearly 85% medium and hard contact. And then at home, he has been getting hit a lot harder. On the season to righties, only about 76% medium and hard contact. But in Coors Field against righties, he's given up 46% medium contact, and 32% hard contact. So like I said, he's been getting hit a lot harder at home. The guy's just really struggled in Coors Field, which is understandable. That ballpark is the best hitter's park in the game. So I'm expecting Yoenis Cespedes to have a great game here. I just think he's too cheap at 4,300. If we just look through this Mets lineups, you can just see which guys are underpriced. Wilmer Flores is 4.8, so Wilmer Flores is more expensive than Cespedes. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Ahmed Rosario, don't even know who that is. He's 3.9. He's nearly more expensive than Cespedes. Travis d'Arnaud's 3.8 for a catcher. He's almost more expensive than Cespedes. So Cespedes just too cheap playing in Coors. The Mets do have a really high total. It's nearly 6 runs, so Yoenis Cespedes looks like a great play today. Looks like a guy that's just too cheap. So if you're looking for a mid-range play at outfield, definitely consider him for just 4,300. And yeah, so these are my 5 plays for tonight, guys. I went with Jeff Samardzija, Jose Barrios, Nolan Arenado, Didi Gregorius, and Yoenis Cespedes. When you plug these 5 guys in your lineup, that still leaves you over 4K remaining per player. So you have some really good salary to work with. You can definitely use my 5 plays and build a lineup around this 5. Or if you want to get my full lineups, then be sure to follow me on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. My lineups are $5 a day, or you can get a week of lineups for $25. So message me on Twitter if you are interested in that. Or if you just have any questions about the slate or need to ask me something, you can contact me on Twitter as well at the DFS_GOAT. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed. If this is your first time on my channel, please be sure to subscribe. I do upload these videos pretty much every day, so I really appreciate it if you would subscribe. And if you never want to miss out on any videos, if you scroll down to where the subscribe button is, there is a bell icon. If you click that bell icon, that'll actually notify you every time I upload, so be sure to do that as well if you never want to miss out on any videos. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Good luck tonight, guys. Peace.